Hello and welcome. My name is Brent Colby.
And I'm Stephen Salmon, just like the fish.
Today we are talking about leading meetings that matter.
Our episode today, as always, is brought to you not by Kirkland Purified Water.
So
Costco, if you didn't know.
It's so good.
It is good.
Stephen, I have something awesome I'd like to share with you today.
Oh.
We talked about this before we started recording, and I was a little bit surprised to hear that you have not seen this yet.
I'm not very culturally relevant,
now,
it seems like.
It is a YouTube video that's become popular.
Okay.
Those of you following along at home have probably already seen this. The video is called Pen, Pineapple, Apple, Pen. It is 51 seconds long, and I think trying to describe it would just be a disservice to the video. So at this point, I'm going to hit play.
So I'm going to watch the whole video.
You're going to watch the video, but I'm going to watch you watching the video.
You are lucky you get to watch this face watch a video for 51 seconds.
Ready? Go. Oh, need some volume.
So far, nothing has happened.
I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen. I have a pen.
He doesn't have a pen, though.
It's in his heart.
Pineapple pen. Apple pen. Pineapple pen. Pen, pineapple, apple pen.
Oh my God.
Are you feeling it, though?
Pen, pineapple, apple pen.
My life is complete.
And that's it.
Wow. Wow, that guy is excited. He kind of looks like a pineapple. He's got a lot of yellow on.
He does.
Oh,
so
man.
apparently this is some inside joke, and the guy made the video, and someone in the U.S. caught on to it, and it's just how many, at the time of this recording, it has almost 12 million views.
Oh my gosh.
But the amount of parodies online is almost, I mean, there's just hundreds and hundreds of them, people doing it. So it's like a thing. The significance of it, I have no idea.
Who has time to go on YouTube and watch people do crazy things like that, though? I have no idea.
That's what YouTube is for.
all the people watching. We thank those people. Well, let's talk about leading meetings that matter.
Stephen, when was the last meeting you were in?
This morning I was in a meeting.
And did you lead it, or were you just attending it?
No, I was attending it. The last meeting that I led was just at the beginning of this month. Every month we have a leadership team meeting for our children's ministry.
Do you have, like, when you go into a meeting, like, what's your game plan? How do you set it up? How do you execute it? What's your...
You know, it's funny. I took an entire class at university about how to run and lead a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, because they talked about how your ability to lead a meeting and to communicate in a meeting inspires a lot of confidence in people. And if you do it poorly, it's like people go, okay, great, this guy or girl doesn't know how to lead a meeting. How are they going to lead this, like, what's going on?
Right.
And the biggest thing is that it's people's time, and we're asking them to come to something that's outside of just a Sunday experience or to help with something. And we got to honor that. And so I actually take a long time preparing for a meeting and making sure that I know what I'm going to talk about, because if I don't and I go in there and try to wing it, it's just like trying to wing it on stage in front of a bunch of people while giving a talk. You might think it went awesome, and you go back and watch, you're like, that was awful. Like, this is not good.
Best meeting ever.
Yeah, people are going, oh, great. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work. You have to understand that running a meeting is work. It takes some bit.
Yeah, I get caught up in the mindset of going to meetings and then going back to my office thinking, oh, I can't wait to get to work, right?
Yeah,
I can't wait to stop
right.
having meetings
Right,
so
right,
I can
right.
do work.
Yeah.
When the truth is, of course, the meetings are my work.
Yeah.
You know, especially meetings with volunteers.
Yes.
You know, like I said, precious
Yes.
time, but that's like time myself and they have set aside to learn something, to move forward in some area.
Yeah, and there are things that you can do to make meetings run a lot better than just trying to just gathering people together and sitting around and just talking about things. Yeah, you met, but that's not the most effective way that you can run a meeting. Like having an agenda, something laid out and saying, here's what we're going to do at the beginning, here's what we're going to talk about in the middle, and then the end. And here's what we want to have solved for in this meeting. Having a goal for a meeting is a really, really good thing because it really focuses and hones in and keeps it on a path rather than it just kind of getting out into the weeds and everything else.
Yeah. One thing, I'm sure you guys do this too, is at the end of each meeting, you got to have some sort of clear next steps or action items.
Yeah.
I think part of what makes us feel like, oh, that was a great meeting, for us but not for other people, is because we have a clear sense of this person's doing that, they're doing this.
We're so amped up, we're like, oh, this is just going to take off. This is great.
But everyone else
And
is
a month later, it's like, where are we at on this stuff? People are like, you didn't ask us to do anything.
Yes. Oh, that is the worst. But it's easy. In fact, we just ended a meeting we were in, yesterday, and usually, like, I know kind of what I would like or the direction we're going with stuff, but this one, and I'm sure, again, you guys do this, but I just went around the table and I just asked each person, what are your next steps? What are you taking away from this meeting? It's
good.
What are you going to get done between now and when we meet, which is, I think,
If
like
they
a month
don't
from
know
now.
them, that's
Yeah.
there you can identify an issue right there.
So they got to say what they understood, and that clarified it to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes they had stuff on their list that I wasn't even thinking of, which was good.
That's great.
Other times there were things in my head that I was like, but they didn't say it. And same from around the table. There would be people who were like, well, aren't you doing this? No, you're actually going to do it. Because I think a lot of tasks fall in the gap between team members.
Yeah.
But you got to have someone, even if they're working together, someone has to own the
and
thing.
I think that's a really easy way where people lose confidence is that if you talk about a lot of cool things in a meeting and then those aren't executed upon and people go, well, hey, where are we at on this stuff? And everyone's just kind of waiting around. You lose a lot of credibility as someone who can get things done. And I think sometimes we get nervous about asking people to do things because they are volunteers.
Right.
We're like, hey, it's their time, and this is my job, and so do I really ask them to do this kind of stuff? And you know what? The answer is yes. Ask them. Say, hey, can you go out and do this stuff? Most often they'll say yes. Yeah, I can, and that's great because they want to be part of it. They want to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
All the different stuff.
So prepare, have an agenda, ask them for something to do. What's the big last takeaway for you think?
I think with meetings, there was, in class we talked about however long your meeting is, you have to prepare yourself double long that the meeting is going to go just to get ready for that meeting. Like I can't overemphasize that point enough that if you run a really good meeting, word is going to get around and people are going to want to join your team because they know that you have your stuff together. And your bosses or your authorities or whoever's over you is going to hear about that, and they're going to give you more leadership and more opportunities to do things because they know that you can get people there, run a good meeting, and see things happen.
Yeah. We would love to hear what you do in your meetings.
Yeah.
We've just scratched the surface. There's tons of things you could say here. But before we get to your comments, we did want to play a game with you, Stephen, before we go.
Quick game.
Today's game is called Homeless or Hobo. I'm going to show you a series
Homeless
of
or
pictures.
hipster?
Homeless or hipster.
Yeah.
Hobo, hipster, homeless, or...
Those are kind of similar, and then one of them also similar but has a home.
So you have three options.
Yeah.
They're either a hobo or homeless. The difference is the one travels around more, I think.
And has a sandwich, ham sandwich.
This is really insensitive. And the third one is whether or not they're a hipster, okay?
Right.
So, homeless or hipster, picture number one right here, homeless or hipster. Answer is?
I'm going to say homeless.
I think it's hipster.
Hipster.
I think the glasses are a dead giveaway.
Yep. The hat. The hat, the scarf, the leopard scarf. How did I miss it on the leopard scarf?
Okay, number two, ready?
Okay.
Homeless or hipster, we have, boom.
That's got to be a hipster.
Yes, also a hipster.
You can't wear a belt like that and not be a hipster. I don't think
it's
homeless people would even do that.
I think that's a sash.
It's something.
Yeah. Anyways, and option number three, homeless or hipster, boom.
Oh, definite hipster.
Definitely
Also
hipster.
known as Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp, yeah. That's a definite hipster.
The original homeless hipster.
Yeah. And anyone who talks and has to do this every time, even when he's not playing Jack Sparrow, definite hipster.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for following along. Again, leave your comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts about what it is for you to lead a meeting that matters.
Yeah, and leave any questions. If you guys have questions, we'd love to see them and answer them maybe on a future video. So leave your questions or comments below and we'll get to them. See you guys next time.
you.